This is East Carolina All-American Bryant Packard, and we're talking Pirate baseball in the Sports Objective.
You're watching Extra Innings, presented by PGXGloves.com on the Sports Objective. Join us every Sunday night on Facebook Live, our YouTube channel, and X as we talk East Carolina baseball. We'll analyze the previous week while also taking a look at what lies ahead. Now, let's talk Pirate baseball.
What is going on, Pirate Nation? Welcome into a special edition of Extra Innings. 12th ranked East Carolina goes to Doak Field, is victorious tonight over the 19th ranked Wolfpack, 12-4. And Matt, heck of a night to be a Pirate. Excellent start by Aaron Groller. I think you had 5 guys with multi-hit games led by Carter Cunningham, who had his 7th home run of the season and a 3-hit night.
Great night, Bubba. Fantastic win for the Pirates. And, it was nice to just have a beatdown against an ACC team and without any stress. It was a stress-free night as a fan. You just got to kind of sit back and enjoy the game because it was out of hand pretty early. This one was never in doubt. And, like I said, it was really just complete domination from start to finish. And, obviously this team had some struggles in the midweek games earlier this season. So to get this win in this fashion is a really good sign.
Yeah, like you said, it was nice to not have to sweat it out. The game against the Tar Heels, the Saturday game at Segra, it seemed like it was going to be this way, and then the Tar Heels found a way to get the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. But unfortunately tonight, we didn't have that scenario, and you really didn't know what to expect when Cliff Godwin made the decision to go with Aaron Groller and announced that on Monday afternoon. And man, did he deliver. He'd only pitched 7 1/3 coming into the game. And, it'd kind of been a mixed bag. He'd had some quality outings and then also a few where he had struggled. But tonight he was very sharp, going just over, one batter over 3 innings, needed just 36 pitches and struck out 3 or 4.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting decision by Cliff, and, it definitely paid dividends tonight. And, one thought I had mentioned this to you, I don't know, earlier today, is that, Groller being from another state, from another program, not familiar with, AMAC, not familiar with this in-state rivalry. He doesn't get caught up in the emotions of it. He can just go out and pitch. And I think he did that. He looked really comfortable. 3 innings, no hits. He took care of business. And from that point on, it was, great work by the bullpen. And, a lot of guys, a lot of arms tonight getting work. You love that. We talked about this the other day, just the diversity in the pitching staff, getting a lot of guys work and now developing more starters like we saw in Norby this past weekend. Now Groller, more guys that can start, in the event that, you have injuries or, something comes up down the road.
Yeah, definitely one of the more complete games offensively. I think it was the 6th time this year in 27 games now that the Pirates have scored double figures in runs. You had obviously 12 tonight on 13 hits, and the Pirates they were seemingly cruising at 4-0, but you certainly don't feel comfortable with a 4-run lead. In college baseball, that can change in the blink of an eye, and we kept tacking on. We weren't content with that 4-0 lead there in the middle to late innings.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, to your point, you just can never be content. You never know what's going to happen. And, what I like, and to the team's credit tonight, is they kept their foot on the gas. Just kept pouring on runs. NC State a little sloppy in the field tonight. I don't know how many errors they had, Bubba. I don't have that stat in front of me. Maybe
I
off the
think they
top of your
finished with 3. Let me yes, the Wolfpack had 3 errors. So we had 12 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors for ECU, 4 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, obviously, a little sloppy tonight, and those errors led to runs for the Pirates. So, hey, like I said, great job keeping your foot on the gas pedal, and that's the type of win that this team can really build on and build confidence. And so far, you like what you see when you look at the matchups versus obviously the Tar Heels, and now a ranked team in NC State coming into this game. I think they were number 19. And it was really just a complete beatdown.
Yeah, and like the announcers stated multiple times throughout the broadcast on the ACC Network Extra production, they said NC State 9-1 against teams. I think it's quad 1 teams, or maybe even top 25 teams, or maybe not necessarily in the polls, but of the RPI up to this point in the season. I think 18-7 were the Wolfpack entering the night.
Yeah, pretty impressive, and that's a team that they do have some pop. They have some productivity in that lineup. The transfer from Wichita State has been very productive. You see AMAC with the 11 home runs this year, which I think is really interesting. So that's a team that's been playing well, and hey, that's the sign of a good baseball team. That tonight when you watch the Pirates, you really felt like you were watching a team that's improving as the season goes on. And hey, with what I really liked, another thing I liked about this game tonight is you saw some power. Coming into tonight, we were 115th in the country in home runs, and 2 home runs tonight, which is great to see. I think to win these big games, you need to have some power and some explosive plays like that, home runs. So another good sign.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I considered it. As I said a moment ago, one of our better offensive games of the season. Not only did we put up 12 runs against a quality opponent, the Pirates had 13 hits, and 4 of those were for extra bases. Then you had the home runs by Cunningham and Wilcoxon. Carter's was, I think, just shy of 400 feet, 393 to be exact, and they were showing the analytics on the broadcast or on social media. And then you had a RBI double by Jacob Starling late, a two-run double by Jacob Starling to the opposite field. Pitch on the outside corner, he went with it. And then you had a double by Dixon Williams, who had a 2-hit night. Dixon 2 for 4, and had 2 runs batted in, and had a tremendous running catch where he was probably a good, I don't know what, 40 to 50 feet out in left field. Remarkable catch that the announcers on ACC Network Extra broadcast just raved about.
Yeah, that was a hell of a catch, and I think he kind of got caught a little bit. He was tracking that ball, and he was backtracking, and it was obviously a very high fly ball, and he kind of got carried out into the outfield. And I think Bristol Carter thought it was his play, but hey, to his credit, he was able to make that catch. And Dixon Williams, I'm sure he went into this game tonight with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, Bubba. A lot of talk about AMAC, and as his replacement in the lineup, I'm sure he wanted to make an impact tonight and not get outshined by AMAC. So I think he did come into this with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and fantastic play there.
Yeah, in addition to the running catch, where he was running almost directly back toward left field, and made a heck of a play. You had a play in slow roller where he had to charge it and get rid of it immediately, and otherwise he had no shot, and he did just that. And then on the other side, AMAC had give some credit where it's due. He made several nice plays at third base.
Yeah, no doubt, Bob. I think that's that's a great point, and you know, uh, good to see him play well. That I'm sure that game means a lot to him. Just considering the in-state rivalry, a chance to play in Raleigh, and he got it done.
And taking a look at some of the numbers, you have, as I mentioned, 5 Pirates in double figures. Excuse me, with multiple hits. You had Carter Cunningham 3 for 5 with that home run. That was his lone run batted in. You had JC, Jacob Jenkins Cowart 2 for 4. Jacob Starling 2 for 4 with 2 RBI, and that double there late in the game. He also reached base on a hit by pitch. You had Justin Wilcox and J-Dub 2 for 5 with the home run, and Dixon Williams, the DH Conley product, 2 for 4 with 2 RBI, a double, and I think he got the scoring underway there early, with the run scoring single to center.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the Pirates didn't waste any time in this game. They got to work early, and just looked very controlled tonight at the plate. I think NC State starter, to say the least, he struggled, and just a solid offensive performance from top to bottom. And again, it was just nice to not have to sweat one out. It was just a relaxing game. I really enjoyed watching tonight. It looked like a great atmosphere, Bubba, in Raleigh. It looked like a little bit of a takeover with the Pirate fans there. Just a nice game to watch.
As I mentioned, Aaron Groller, 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no walks, and pretty much everything you could have asked for out of him in those 36 pitches. And he did face one batter in the bottom of the 4th. And the Pirates used 4 pitchers in relief: Danny Bill, Eric Ritchie, Wyatt Lunsford, Shinkman, and Jake Hunter. And none of those gentlemen threw more than 34 pitches. You had 34 for Bill, 22 for Ritchie, 32 for Lunsford Shinkman, and then 24 in the 9th inning for Jake Hunter. So nice to not tax anyone going into the weekend, and you knew that would be the case. So we had heard, as expected, that it would be a Johnny Holstaff night, and it was that. But I was almost a little surprised that that we pulled Groller when we did, because he was so effective. After that leadoff walk in the bottom of the 4th. But Danny Bill came on, went 2 1/3, as I mentioned, pitched pretty well. But overall, the bullpen, wasn't quite as sharp. I'm sure, I don't know, perhaps some of that was to do with the large lead, but nonetheless, and you got to do a little bit better job of pounding the strike zone. You walked 5 guys, and then let's see, how many hit batters do we have? I know we at least hit 2 or 3, so probably at least 7 or 8 free passes, if not more, in those final 6 innings, which is atypical, because they were bragging about what an excellent job that the Pirates do of not issuing free passes. But unfortunately, that was not the case tonight. But with the large lead and the excellent performance by the Pirate bats, it was not an issue as it could be if we'd have had a closer ball game.
Yeah, and to your point, I thought I was a little surprised when Groller came out, because he was rolling. He looked very comfortable, was never in trouble, and I was a little surprised. I thought he would go one more inning, but Beal comes in. I thought Beal's slider was nasty at times tonight. Very sharp with the slider. A few pitches he wanted to have back, but all in all, pretty solid performance. And like you said, I mean, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys work tonight, all around the same pitch count. You stay sharp for the weekend, and that's a good sign. So, I'll tell you this, Bubba. If I hear one more time when I'm watching a Pirates game, if I hear one more time that we are, that we haven't made Omaha, we haven't been able to make the trip to Omaha. If I hear it one more time, I'm going to go crazy. They say it every game. It drives me nuts. And, you see a performance like tonight and you wonder if this is the team to do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I'm sure we're hypersensitive to it just because it's something we want so badly. And, that's, part of the reason why, yes, it's certainly the goal. But Coach Godwin, a few years ago, or maybe even several years ago now, there, a few years into his tenure, it's changed. They used to break it down on Omaha, following practice, following a game. But he changed that, at least them doing that exclusively or the majority of the time, because he just felt like it put unnecessary pressure, just stay about your business and stay in the process, and all those cliches, be where your feet are, etc., that he uses so often. And if we do that, then Omaha's going to happen.
Absolutely. And I think that's the right approach. I think you can get ahead of yourself a little bit, and the one game at a time mentality, or really in baseball, it's more of a 1 week at a time mentality, one series at a time. So I agree with that. I think that's a smart move, just kind of stay focused where you are. And, hey, like this, hopefully this is a sign of great things to come. And, here's Johnny. I was waiting for Johnny Robertson to chime in.
Johnny Stats.
Johnny Stats. I knew he was going to bring it tonight. How's it going, Johnny? There it is. The Pirates jumped Oregon State and Nebraska and is now at number 11 RPI with a 3-2 record against Quad 1 teams. So, yeah, there it is. Great point, Johnny.
And Johnny, if you would, sorry to cut you off there, Matt, but Johnny, you were talking about this in our mega text. If you would, elaborate a little bit more. I don't have the article in front of me, but I know during the preseason, and this has been referenced, by Cliff Godwin and others, throughout the beginning of the season, the way the calculation for the RPI this year is a little bit different. And as far as that formula, and not only a road victory, but a margin of victory of 8 runs on the road, and that's huge for the Pirates. But
yeah, yep, no doubt about it.
And folks, let us hear from you. We'll be live for another probably 5 minutes or so. Taking a look at the scoreboard from tonight. Very quickly, we'll go to the American Athletic Conference to see what other AAC teams were in action tonight. You had UTSA, the Roadrunners, defeated Incarnate Word 7-4 and are now 17-12. They continue to play excellent baseball and have now won six consecutive games in 7 of their last 8, going back to that series against the Pirates, and swept Tulane in New Orleans over the weekend. You had Memphis. They're on the verge of a big non-conference win at FedEx Park, Fogelman Field there in Memphis. It is Memphis 9, Ole Miss 4. So that would be great for the Tigers to pick up that kind of win and boost their RPI.
That would be a huge, huge win, Bubba.
You have Houston, former AAC member, defeating current AAC member and crosstown rival Rice 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Tulane's all over Texas Southern 18-1 in the bottom of the 6th. FAU, the Pirates' opponent this weekend, 3 games down in Boca Raton. They defeated the Miami Hurricanes tonight 3-0. So good for the Owls and good for their RPI. Campbell, I know they had a 7 or 8 run lead early over the Charlotte 49ers, and they held on to win 13-9 down in Fayetteville. And then you have the Oklahoma Sooners leading Wichita State at X Stadium there in Wichita 4-1 in the top of the 8th. And finally, you had Stetson 15, South Florida 9 in the bottom of the 8th, and then Auburn and UAB were postponed due to weather.
Interesting scores tonight, and to your point, hey, how about that Clemson score, Bubba?
Yeah, let's go. We'll go to the top 25, and then maybe some scores of interest from around the state, be it ACC or otherwise, in the top 25. And Pirate fans, at times, you get so frustrated by some of these midweek losses, but the Pirates are taking care of business of late. But you had Central Arkansas, UCA went into Starkville and defeated 23rd ranked Mississippi State 7-6. You had 9th ranked Duke, a future opponent of the Pirates. I believe they will be coming to Clark LeClaire this year after the Pirates played them at the DBAP a year ago. And number 9 Duke went to Liberty, something that the Pirates did successfully. And the Blue Devils were also successful, defeating the Flames 9-4. You had 15th ranked Virginia taking down Old Dominion 4-0 in Charlottesville. Florida State 5, Jacksonville 3. UNC Wilmington had a nice non-conference win at Brooks Field down in Wilmington, defeating the 20th ranked Coastal Carolina Chanticleer 6-4. You had 2nd ranked Clemson. Heck of a start to the season for the Tigers, but they struggled tonight as USC Upstate defeated them in Greenville, South Carolina, 11-1. You had 21st ranked Wake Forest get a little revenge on UNCG. They lost to the Spartans in the first week or two of the season, and they defeated them tonight in Winston-Salem 9-2. You had number 1 Arkansas and defeat Arkansas State 13-0. And you have Texas A&M, the 3rd ranked Aggies, or this has now gone final. They defeated Texas State 12-2. Other scores from the state in the ACC. Bear with me here. You had actually out of state, but an interesting score. You had Georgia Tech in 10 innings defeating Presbyterian 9-8. Harvard 17, Boston College 9. I knew you would find that one interesting.
Interesting, yep.
And let's see.
The battle for Boston.
In the Sun Belt, you had App State hosting in-state foe High Point. Mountaineers off to an excellent start. You have former East Carolina long snapper Britt Johnson. He's the third base coach and recruiting coordinator for the Mountaineers, and the Mountaineers were victorious tonight, taking down High Point in Boone 11-3, improving to 18-8 with that victory over the Panthers. So heck of a start for App State. And that will do it for tonight's scoreboard.
Interesting. I mean, the Harvard, how about Harvard getting it done against the ACC tonight, and a little surprising there for me. And then the biggest surprise of the night, obviously, is the Clemson game. USC Upstate just putting the hammer down on Clemson. Nobody would have predicted that. So, but to your point, Bubba, in baseball, we tend to be, to be on the roller coaster. It's a lot of ups and downs, and you take these losses hard. But, when you see something like that, it puts it in perspective. You can lose on any given night to any team. And obviously that was a big surprise.
Yep, and just the nature of the game, you're more prone to see upsets in baseball than you are other sports, and so when I remember, and I've told this story before on the show, when you had the Tar Heels in Omaha back probably 15 plus years ago. And actually, I think it was exactly 15 years ago. I think it was that 2009 season when the Tar Heels advanced to Omaha by beating the Pirates in the Super Regional. That year, there you had North Carolina with probably 50 plus wins, and East Carolina was, in the mid 40s. I think maybe 47 or something. And Campbell won 6 games or 8 games that year. And 2 of their 8 wins, let's say, were over East Carolina and North Carolina. Go figure.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. You never know. Yeah. Bubba, what do we have coming up here? What do we have coming up here this weekend?
The Pirates will be headed down to Boca to take on the FAU Owls, and we'll take a look back at that series on Sunday night. So make sure you plan to join us probably about 8 p.m. for extra innings, as we'll reflect on what will hopefully be a series victory over a very good Florida Atlantic team.
Absolutely. And that's a Florida Atlantic team that you said beat Miami tonight. Is that right? Did I hear that one right?
Yes, 3-0.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, another big opportunity ahead for this team. In conference opponents, so definitely need to go down to Boca and take care of business, and hopefully come back with 3 wins, put yourself in a great position in the conference, and keep moving forward.
Yep, no doubt. Big 4-game week with all 4 games obviously being road games, and then the Pirates, as we mentioned on extra innings last night, will play, I think, 9 out of their next 10 or 10 out of their next 11 at the friendly confines of the Jungle in Clark LeClaire Stadium. But we really appreciate everyone tuning in tonight. Excellent audience, and appreciate everyone chiming in throughout this impromptu version of extra innings, as the East Carolina Pirates were victorious over NC State 12-4 tonight at Doak Field. Pirates, had some shortcomings against NC State and Raleigh in recent seasons, but tonight it was all ECU in a big non-conference victory. And that will do it for this edition of the show. Be sure to follow us on social media. On X, you can find us at The Sports OBJ, on Instagram and TikTok at The Sports Objective. Like and follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when you do so, be sure to click that notification bell and all, so you're alerted when we go live or upload new content. But for Matt Semenza and the absent Dave Richmond and Kyle Barber, I'm Bubba Rosenbaum, and you've been watching and listening to Extra Innings here on the Sports Objective. We'll talk to you Sunday night, and as always, go Pirates.
That concludes this week's edition of Extra Innings, presented by PGXGloves.com on the Sports Objective. Join us again next Sunday night as we will again talk East Carolina Pirate baseball. Be sure to follow the Sports Objective on social media. It can be found at the Sports OBJ on X, at the Sports Objective on Instagram and TikTok. Like and follow the show on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell and all, so you're alerted on your device anytime we go live or upload new content. As always, we appreciate you watching and listening to the show. Go Pirates!